Hello everyone, welcome to Scars for Stars, and today I'm going to be talking about the topic dating with severe acne. Now this is just from my personal experiences and opinions. This does not go for everyone else. Everyone else has different experiences and opinions. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So I want to talk about two different things today. I want to talk about online dating and I wanted to talk about real world dating. Now I'm going to talk about online dating first to share my experiences with you on that. Now I started online dating about 6-7 years ago, and up until now it's just been horrible. It's not something I'd like to do in terms of dating, and here's my reason why. Because over the years I've learned that all online dating is pretty much popularity and fashion contests, because all you see on there is pictures of half-naked people posting about what they can do, people posting their salary, people posting their talents. You know, they're posting ass pics, shirtless pics, things like that. So this is not really something I can do with my scars and everything. It's not going to attract nobody. I can't attract nobody with my body, more so. Not that I'm not confident in my body. I think I happen to look pretty good for all the scars I have. But at the same time, on websites like this, it's just not going to cut it, because it's all a look factor in online dating. With every online dating site I've used, whether it be Tinder, Meet Me, Plenty of Fish, whatever, it's all the same. Nothing is going to be better, nothing's going to be worse. It's all the same to me. All the same experiences. I've had matches. I've talked to a lot of girls on there, but most of the time it never goes as far as maybe 2 or 3 messages, and that's it. I'm ghosted, because you gotta think, you know, a lot of these girls on here are getting like 200-300 likes. All these guys, they can just scroll through their phone and choose from. You know, why would they choose me? And I've even had like really out of this world opening lines, and it still don't work. Because, you know, you can send a girl hi online. They've heard that like 10,000 times. But I've seen it work for guys that look really good. And so that's just enough proof right there. Now, most of what these online dating sites are used for is hooking up. And I'm just going to be honest. That's mostly what it's used for. Did I use it for that? Not really. Because, you know, if I see somebody I actually like and I'm interested in, you know, I wouldn't want, you know, just that. I'd want more, you know, I'd want an actual relationship. That's just me. But a majority of people use these online dating sites for hooking up. So I'm not going to dwell too much into that, online dating, because that's just self-explanatory. That's pretty much my experience. It's just I get a match with a few girls here and there every once in a while, try to talk to them, send out really out of this world one-liners, and they might reply to me a few times, and then that's it. Rinse and repeat. So let's move on to real world dating. Now this I have more experience with, because real world dating versus online dating is a whole different level of dating. The difference between, you know, online dating and real world dating for me is a whole lot different. Okay, real world dating, I have had about 5 different dates. My first one with a girl. Let me back this up. Out of all these dates, most of them lasted about 2 to 3 months, relationship-wise. My last relationship lasted 4.5 years. I'll talk about that in a minute. I won't talk too much about it though, because it's kind of personal and private. So, but anyway, my first few dates, the first one I had, we dated for about 3 months, and then everything was going good. I worked with her actually for 3 years. Really liked her. She was in the process of a divorce when I first met her. She divorced her ex-husband and got with this other guy, and they were together for a couple of years, and then they broke up. And then she hit me up one day and said, hey, you know, didn't you like me? Didn't you used to like me? And this was only about 3 months, 2 or 3 months after she broke up with her previous boyfriend. So I was not having not having any relationship experience whatsoever, but actually having a girl actually be like, oh, hey, you know, I like you too. Of course I was going to jump on that, especially not having any type of physical female connection or anything whatsoever until that point. Well, actually, let me back this up. I did have a female connection in middle school, but I'm not going to talk about that. I dated her for 3 months, and it was going really well in the beginning. And then out of nowhere, you know, she just started getting distant, and we broke up. And that was that. I was like, didn't really have too much closure on that. Didn't really know the exact reason. Just kind of made up a bunch of weird excuses. So fast forward to the next date I had, which was actually my only successful online dating story. I met a girl on Facebook. We seemed to have a lot in common. We talked a little bit, and I asked her, hey, you want to meet somewhere one day? She's like, sure. So we met late night at Taco Bell, of all places. So it was like, I think 11 o'clock at night. So we went there, got some tacos, we ate inside, we talked, we found out we had a lot in common. She was really cool. I liked her a lot. After Taco Bell, we got in the car, drove around, listened to some music, just talking about random different shit. And so we started dating then and there. We dated for a couple of months, and it's really kind of fucked up how it all ended. Pretty much. Now, I took her to a really nice concert. We had a lot of fun. We sung our heart out, and I took her home. Next day, she ended up blocking me on Facebook and not saying anything else to me whatsoever, and just completely 100% ghosted me. Yeah. So, never got any closure from that either, and I spent months and months pondering why. What did I do wrong? Because everything was going so well. But then I'm like, whatever, you know, at that point I just started getting really down on myself and down on my luck. Didn't really know if I wanted to date anymore, but I said, whatever, if something comes up, it'll come up. Then the next girl I dated, it wasn't long at all, but we really did like each other in the beginning, but, you know, it just didn't go anywhere. It was very short term, like maybe a month. But I did find out she liked me a lot, but then life got in the way, so we couldn't continue. Next girl I dated went to a college I was working at, which that was the job I met the first girl I dated at. So I dated her for a little while, and once again, things got in the way, and we ended up not dating anymore. Then my next girl was my previous one. The longest relationship in my life, 4.5 years, which also resulted in us having a child together. I won't really, like I said in the beginning, I won't really dwell too much in this, but just bad things happened in our relationship that has ultimately ended in us splitting up. But we try to stay civil and respect each other for the sake of our son. So, yeah. She was really good, though. She was a really good relationship of mine. Now, I look back at it, and it still saddens me to this day, but, you know, it is what it is, and that's all I can say on that relationship. But the point of this video is to pretty much give my advice to you out there and what I did to achieve these relationships as someone that suffers from acne. Because, you know, I know a lot of us, when we go out there into the dating world, when we're suffering from acne, we're always constantly worried what the other person's thinking of us. And that happens in general, even people without acne. Everybody's going to constantly think, what does this person think of me right now? I bet she thinks I'm stupid, or I bet she thinks I'm ugly. You know, just random thoughts are going to pop up no matter what. So for someone like us, of course, for people who suffer from acne, we're constantly going to be thinking about the ugly factor, about them staring at our face because of the pimples or the scars we have. So what I did was I didn't rely on this, you know, because I'm not saying I'm not a bad looking person or anything like that. I'm just saying I couldn't really ultimately rely on this like some people could out there. Some would just walk around and piss beauty and excellence and just have people in awe over them. So I couldn't do that. I couldn't rely on that. That wasn't for me. That's not for me. So I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't rely on that. That's just not in my category. So I had to rely on something else. So what I relied on was my personality. I relied on that. I relied on trying to just go out there and say, fuck it, and be confident. And hopefully that gets me somewhere. So let your personality shine. Just be confident. Try to forget all about this. I know it's hard. It's really hard, trust me. I still have problems with this day doing it. But if I'm really interested in someone, I want to let them know. What have I got to lose? The worst they can say is no. And then I go about my business. That's the way I look at things nowadays. I don't look at it as like, you know, I ain't going to do this because I'm too ugly for it. No. I know subconsciously in the back of my head, I'm thinking if I get rejected, it's because of that. But I try not to think about that either because it's just going to bring me down more. But anyway, just go up to whoever you like, your crush, whoever, and just give it your all, man. Just let them know how you feel. Because you never know. You never know. They might actually like you back. And that's the risk I took 4.5 years ago when I was dating my previous girlfriend. You know, I just took the risk, went up to her and asked her out on a date. And the rest was history. So you never know if that might work for you, because it might. But let your personality shine. If you let someone know that you're a downer, if you let someone know you're negative, and God knows I've been in a very negative mindset in my life. And what I've learned from it, it just isn't going to cut it in the relationship world, or dating world, I should say. You know, when two negative people collide, it's just not a good thing. It's never a good thing, trust me. Personal experience, hand raised, can tell you, front of the lines, it is not a good thing. So the best advice I can give you in my personal experience is make yourself shine. Make your personality shine. Because I had to have some other way of having someone become interested in me. And I knew I couldn't rely on this. I couldn't just rely on this like some people can. Some people can just walk around, piss excellence, piss beauty, and just have a bunch of people in awe over them. Me, I couldn't do that. I did not fit that category. So I had to rely on my personality. I had to show them that I was fun, I was funny, I was cool to be around, and that was my hook, line, and sinker for them. And just later on, they did eventually look past this and saw me for who I was. And that's what I do now. That's pretty much my way of trying to ask somebody out on a date. I try to get to know them. I try to talk to them a little bit, be friendly with them, and show them what kind of person I am. And think maybe later, you know, I might have them in my grasp. So I go in and I ask them out on a date, and the worst they can say is no. And that's just the way I look at things now. The worst they can say is no. And then I can turn around and walk away and just go on with my life and try the next girl that comes along. And the next thing I need to say is, if you get rejected, which you will, because rejection happens in this world, in the dating world, no matter whether you have acne or not, it's going to happen. And the number one best piece of advice I can give you for that is, do not let it leave a negative impact in the back of your mind, because that will ruin it for the next girl that you're interested in. Because it's going to ruin it for the next girl you ask out on a date, because you're going to think back to the last girl that turned you down, and you're going to be like, well, this is probably going to just result in the same thing. So why even bother? No, you can't do that. You just got to say, okay, you know, I tried, whatever, let's move on. Just don't let it leave a negative impact in the back of your mind. That's one of my number one best pieces of advice. That's what I've learned. So those are the two greatest pieces of advice that I can give you from my perspective, my experiences. Let your personality shine, do the work. Don't rely so much on this. Show them what kind of person you are. And don't let any rejections become a negative impact in the back of your mind, because that will always ruin it for the next person that comes along. You don't need that. Just accept it and move on. Because like I said, rejection is going to happen whether you have acne or not. It's just a part of the dating world. Also, here's another piece of advice I can give you that I just thought of off the top of my head, and it's actually something I've experienced, is comparing yourself to other people. This is something you do not want to do. Also, another good piece of advice I can give you is do not compare yourself to other people, because this was actually one of my ultimate downfalls in the dating world. Was I was throwing all these comparison curveballs at myself, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I constantly thought in the back of my brain, man, I mean, why do I try? You know, I don't have a body like this guy. I don't have a personality like this guy. I don't have a good job like this guy. I don't have a nice car like this guy. You know, and the same goes for girls out there too. You know, I don't have a nice body like this girl. I don't have a good job like this girl. I don't have the eyes, or I don't have the waist that this girl has. I don't have, you know, the makeup experience this girl has. You know, there's a lot of things that compare yourself with to people. And ultimately, that's going to lead to more downfalls in the future. And that's another great piece of advice I give you. Do not compare yourself to anybody, because you are your own great individual. Do not let anyone ever tell you otherwise. So those are the top 3 best pieces of advice I can give you to succeed in the dating world with severe acne or acne in general. Is just be yourself, let your personality shine, don't compare, and don't let negativity bring you down. So with that said, you know, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if I rambled on too long about certain things, but I just wanted to share my experiences with you. And I hope this video in some way helps you out there. I hope it helps you succeed in the dating world. So please, if it does, you know, get back to me and let me know. Please subscribe and hit the like button for more content, because I will be uploading more videos coming soon. So thank you all for watching, and have a good day.